We are live. Good morning, everyone. It is time again for our Joyful Joints live class. Joyful Joints, the place where we get to know our body, we get to know how it is moving, we pay attention to what it feels like to move, and we try to take our skeleton, our body, back to that place the way that it was designed, the way that it's comfortable, the way that it acts most efficiently and most effectively. What does that mean for us? It means we're working less hard just to get around in the world. And that allows us to open up into a space of joy, out of a space of fear, discomfort, those things that, they're not so positive. And it takes us from that space as we release the layers of discomfort into that space of joy and happiness. So that's what Joyful Joints is all about. And welcome to those of you who are able to join us live, who are starting to find us live. If you don't find us live, the experience apparently is quite the same when you check out the recordings. And these classes are going to be available to you for as long as YouTube allows it. So if you would like to be able to chat with us during class, you want to make sure that you subscribe at least 5 minutes before class. So that way we can say hello to you, welcome you into our live energy, and move forward from there. We're in month 2 of these live YouTube classes, and our focus this month is on the upper torso. It's that space that is our rib cage, our shoulders are involved in this. And it is the space where, our heart and our lungs are being held. They're either being held and super protected and squished down because we're hiding from something or we're afraid of something, or they're like, whoa, all splatted and kind of open a little too much. You know, these people, we share too much, we open, we give away everything we have, and then we're drained by the end. So regardless, what we'd like to do is put our upper torso into a proper way of moving, a proper way of holding our heart and our lungs with just enough support that they can function optimally. I mean, breathing and heart beating, kind of really important for life, right? So let's get on with it. We're going to begin by standing up. Now, in this class, it is your class. If standing up is not something that is available or comfortable to you, you may do anything seated. Make an adjustment, just stay seated and follow along the best you can. Today, we're going to talk about the upper torso. We're working on the upper torso as a way to maybe relieve any tension that we have in the lower back, any tension we may have in our gut, our internal organs down here. Is it possibly because the upper torso is not functioning optimally? So let's see what we get here. All right. Thank you, guys. We're up to our record of live attendees. We have 3 people here, and I'm saying hello to all of you. So I want to see that number keep going up on a weekly basis until we are working together with thousands and thousands of people. You guys up for that? All right, super. So let's do assessment. You followed along in month 1, you know that we check and we recheck. So our check today is going to be on how is my lower back feeling? What's the tension level? And I want you to give it a number. Here's what I want you to do for assessment. Place your hands on your hips, the top of your hips, near your waistline. Remember, our true hips are lower. We'll learn that later. And I'd like for you just to tip your body gently from side to side. And I'd like you to recognize, notice, what does my back feel like when I do this? If you move so far that you feel sharp shooting pain, I want you to back off. This is not, I'm going to keep pushing it until that pain goes away. This is, let me go small until I start to feel discomfort. This is as far as I go. I feel discomfort today. We've been doing some heavy lifting. I haven't been doing my practice as much as I would like to. But that's okay. I'm noticing so I can make an adjustment. All right, do you have an idea? When I go this direction, I feel a little bit more. It's on my left side. It's at about a 4 or 5. When I go this direction, I could keep going, not too much discomfort. So make those notes for yourself. Now, also assess or check the leaning forward. I'll turn sideways. So leaning forward, how far? And leaning backward. Just do that gently forward and backward, and notice What is your experience? We objectively observe, how does my lower back feel in doing this motion? And I know a lot of us have very little ability to move, especially if you've got some kind of acute injury or pain level going on in your lower back. You want to be super, super small in doing that motion. All right, does everybody have their numbers, their assessments? You got it? You remember it? Because this is also about like working on our short-term memory. All right, let's go ahead and come have a seat. Let's begin by reviewing month number 1. Everybody grab your focal pointer. If you don't have something that's a focal pointer, you could use a pencil, the eraser of it, you could use your thumb, whatever works for you. But let's do review nice and quickly. Convergence drill. Draw that pointer in. Touch your nose with it. Try to make your eyes cross and look directly at that focal point. It's higher than my nose. It's higher than the tip of my nose. Slowly send it away. These are pencil push-ups or convergence drills. Good. Welcome, welcome into our live class. We're so happy pushing that number up, you guys. Very good. Of live attendees. And then slowly take that away. Fantastic. Change hands. Let's do 2 more. Draw it in. Squeeze those eyes right into that focal point. Yes. And then slowly take it away. You got it, kids. Let's do 1 more. Draw it in. Squeeze and hold. And slowly take it away. Fantastic. Go ahead and blink your eyes. Blink, blink, blink. We're going to go right into the next exercise, covering up one eye, holding that focal pointer and going across your nose. Let's hold here. Very nice. Bring it back to the center. Let's move away from your covered eyes, stretching out to the side, holding. And bring it back to the center. Let's take that focal pointer up, stretch, up toward your forehead, up toward your eyebrow. You might be feeling a squeeze or a tension of the muscles. You might feel the beginning of a little headache. It's okay. Bring it back down. Just gently do that movement. Lowering, bringing that pointer downward. Holding at the bottom. Fabulous. Bring it back to the center and release. Blink, blink, blink those eyes. We're going to do the other eye. Cover it up. Hold the stick. Here we go. The focal pointer goes across your nose toward the covered eye. Hold it there. Make sure the body is relaxed as we're doing these exercises. There's no tension. Well, the tension may show up, but we want to try to stay in a state of relaxation. Let's move that focal pointer out to the side, away from the covered eye. I'm fully noticing that my left eye is definitely more tired, not working as well as the right eye. Come back to the center. Here we go, up. I'm not going to say working as well. It's not working as easily as my right eye. Hold. So that's a little bit of a clue that I have an imbalance in how well my eyes, how well they're functioning, how easily they're functioning. Come back to center and we go down, down, down. Is there a smile on your face yet? I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this little plastic pointer finger. That should make me giggle. Come back to the center. Excellent. And release. Blink, blink, blink those eyes. Fantastic. If you need to integrate a little bit, you can do 2 more of our pencil push-ups. Hold it there. And slowly take it away. This just helps the 2 eyes, again, work together after having done their individual work. Come back in. Super job, you guys. And slowly take it away. All right. Now, let's go back to our reassess. So that was all of the eye drills, some of the eye drills that we learned on month number 1. Let's stand up, place your hands at your waist, and just like you did before, tipping from side to side And this is where we do just compare and contrast. How does this feel the same or different from when we did it a few minutes ago? And I'm going to say that I'm going much further before I feel a pull, and also my pull has localized. That's another positive sign. If we're like have pain everywhere, and then when we come back to check again, it's localized or it's come to a smaller space where, wow, I can now more pinpoint where I'm feeling something. That is an improvement as it relates to our nervous system. So now we go the other direction. Maybe the forward and backward was something that you recognized more. You could tell a bigger difference. And I am noticing a much less feel in my lower back. It's much happier. So what does that mean? We give ourselves a thumbs up. And if you have subscribed, you can give us a thumbs up right there live while we're going on with the class. And that way people who are going to find this class later on, they'll be like, oh, wow, what are all these people? All these people are feeling better in their backs. And all we did was do our eyes. Okay, now, but Paula, you say this class is supposed to be about the upper torso. Yes, I wanted to get us to a space where we felt pretty good before we started trying to work the upper torso. This rib cage, the word cage implies something rigid. And so in our mind, we often have the idea that our rib cage is immobile. That's already programmed in there. It is also the space where I don't like to use the word suffer, but I'm going to. We might have injuries that relate to our ability to love others or to love ourselves. Those are injuries that cause more stiffness in our rib cage. We get emotionally hurt, and that's what's happening there. So that's what we're going to work on today, repeating what we did last week, which was rotation. So everybody's going to place their fingers right on their shoulders. We are going to remind ourselves that we sit still in our chair. Our pelvis sits still. Everybody touch right along the base of your rib cage. Can you find your rib cage? Just touch kind of this middle band, the breaking point or the dividing point between our upper torso and our lower torso. And that is defined by our diaphragm and the bottom of our rib cage. So just find it, be aware of it, touch it. And what we're going to do as we touch our shoulders, we're going to rotate our upper torso to the right. And we're only rotating above where that diaphragm is, that dividing line between the upper and lower. Can you make that happen? Rotating from side to side. Now, as you begin these rotations, you might start to notice, I'm feeling some discomfort. It makes my lower back a little bit uncomfortable. So back off a little bit, see what you're able to do before that discomfort, and then put more effort into holding your navel. Is your navel in the upper or the lower torso? It's in the lower torso. The navel is not rotating with us, kids. So maybe you need to put one hand on the lower torso, the navel, one hand on the top. Let's try this. As I rotate my upper torso, is my lower torso holding still, or is it all coming together? Do you see the difference? Hold the lower still, move the upper. And then the other direction. Hold the lower part still, try only to move the upper. There you go. So this is a practice. Last week, we worked on this rotation by thinking of our heart sitting inside of our chest and our heart being the engine that turns this upper torso. Now, switch hands if you're working with your hands here. Let's think not only of the front of our torso, but guess what? There's a back side too. Can you envision the back side of your torso? The lower part holding still while the upper part rotates? You might need to close your eyes to do that. I realize when I'm teaching a lot, I close my eyes because I'm wanting to have a connection enough to my body so that I can speak to you in a way that perhaps will make more sense. There we go. Let's do a couple more as we rotate, and pay attention if there is a discomfort there. All right, and release. Good. Now, again from last week, we worked on closing our front heart, opening the backside. Remember, it was like a lighthouse that has a light in the front and the back. So my heart light shines both forward and backward. I can close down the front one to open the backside more. And then we can open the front light and close the backside. Okay? My hands are just helping to show you what this looks like. If your hands want to join in, that's fine. Close the front heart. Feel that back heart open up. And then open the front heart. Feel that back heart close. Oh man, I feel my collarbones also really opening and trying to release some tension. Good. Close the front heart. Open the back. Open the front heart. Close the back. By the way, this is an exercise. Okay, that makes me want to breathe, which means we must have done it well. Some of you might get dizzy after working on this closing and opening and working with some of the muscles around here, because we are getting into some of our vagus nerve toning. We are asking the vagus nerve to move in ways where it might have gotten stuck, and now we're asking it to move around. That vagus nerve is responsible for all of our autonomic things, the heartbeat, the breathing, our temperature, some dizziness. That is all involved. So if you do get a little bit dizzy as we're going through, it's not to panic, as long as that dissipates fairly rapidly as we complete the exercise. If it sticks with you, then you definitely want to back off of how intensely you're working. Also, make sure that you are breathing as you're trying to do these things. Sometimes I'll say something, you're trying really hard, thinking, and you forgot to breathe. That does cause us to get dizzy, you guys. So as we're in the motions, continue to think about breathing. Now, speaking of breathing, the diaphragm, the dividing point between our upper and lower torso, needs to be dynamic and able to move in all these directions. Let's take a quick pause, stand up before we head into the full breathing. Let's see if practicing our rotations and our opening and closings has had any effect on our lower back comfort. Wow. I feel so much better. I can smile now. Good, let's do the other direction. The forward, wow, and the backward. Okay, so I hope you guys are going to learn to trust me. You don't have to trust me. If this is new for you and you see me moving a whole lot bigger, and maybe I'm doing that, you could think, oh, she's just doing that to make us think so. Yeah, that's not really in my wheelhouse. I really did feel that much better to move that much further. So I get thumbs up. What do you get? Again, if you're a subscriber, you can go there and give us a little click to let us know how you're doing along the way. Wow. So guess what? Guess what I just learned? I learned that practicing my rotation and my open and closing of the heart makes my nervous system so much happier. Yay. So very good. What is next? All right, so we were getting ready to talk about this dividing line. It needs to be flexible, but also strong, not just breakable, okay? Our diaphragm should be one of the strongest muscles in our body. And how often should we have to think about what our diaphragm is doing? Like, not at all. It should happen all by itself. It should be working on its own, but sometimes locking down our rib cage and having inflexibility in the structure of our rib cage means that the diaphragm is limited, right? The bones won't move so much. Now the diaphragm either has to be a whole lot stronger or it's going to start to atrophy, just like any other muscle in the body, okay? Which means our breath gets more shallow, which means our heart doesn't get the massage that it needs from our breathing. So lots of things could be assisted and moved in a positive direction by practicing. So we're going to go here. I want us to do something with the closing and the opening of the heart. Sometimes we are so locked down in that part of our chest that we can't even begin to move from the heart. We do things like, do this with me, everybody. We throw our arms forward and we throw our arms back. And we think that's opening and closing the heart, okay? But it's not really. It's lifting your shoulders and making your shoulders work and your neck work too hard. The heart, meanwhile, just sits there completely locked up, okay? So feel what that's like to throw your shoulders. Now, what if you don't throw your shoulders and we move from the heart? There you go. Excellent. Excellent. By the way, in the email that you'll get today, it's our Insights for Infusion. If you're not seeing it and you'd like to subscribe, you go to our website, pranavar.org, and let us know. We'll add you to that mailing list. But this is motion that is needed to paddle. And in our, so this way. If you think about flowing down the river of life, if you don't have the strength to direct you, then you get tossed about, right? You might even get tossed out of your boat. Then you might get stuck in one of those eddies and those types of things. So there's lots of correlations and things to think about, but I'm trying to keep class short. And when I go down that route, it gets a little long. Anyway, do you see how we don't have so much power when we're working from our neck? But if we were to work from our heart, closing and opening, can you feel it? Yes, let the work happen from down here at the heart. Good. And right now, it might feel really odd and really weird. We might have been so injured at some point in our lives that working from our heart center might even feel uncomfortable. But it is more powerful. Good. And I believe in you guys that we can do this. Now, what if we operate from down here? What if we just break at the base of our rib cage? From the side, it looks like this. Compress. Do you see how I got really short and compressed? And do you know any people who walk around like this? Yeah, how did they get there? Somewhere along the way, they really lost the strength in the chest. So there's compressing and then breaking in my back. So this is also not from my heart. This is now from a space that we call our solar plexus, okay? It's the space where we have our ability to love oneself properly, not over love and not under love, okay? So we're gonna stabilize that. We're gonna open and close from the heart one more time. Good, you guys keeping up with me? Open and close. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna add the final ingredient. Now, we're gonna think about from our diaphragm and we're gonna do some breath. And what I'd like for us to do is when we inhale, I want to see if that diaphragm can drop down into our lower torso. Now, mechanically, that's not exactly what happens, but let's think of it that way today, shall we? As we inhale, I want the diaphragm to relax and drop down into our lower torso. That means all the air is going to come way down there, okay? Not only in the front, but also in the sides and in the back, okay? It's a 360-degree movement. So just see what happens if you exhale first, and then try to inhale. And then exhale again. Okay. If any of you have recently had surgery or anything like that, you get the inhale strength-o-meter. It's a device where you practice strengthening your inhale. So how many of us, let's try again, inhale for a long time. And then exhale. Okay. So how many of us noticed, and this happens a lot when we first start talking about breath, we inhale and it gets stuck really quick. Ooh. Inhale, and then you feel your chest coming up and up and up and up and up, trying to get more air in, right? Anybody have that happen? Okay, so here's the thing. Let's be stronger in our upper torso to hold it. Now that we've gained some mobility, right? Now let's see if we're strong enough to hold our upper torso tight so that when we go to inhale, that diaphragm drops all the way to the base of our torso. Let's try again. Exhale. Keep this really strong. Inhale, drop your diaphragm. Better. Now exhale stronger this time. Maybe blow out some birthday cake candles. Blow them all out. Keep blowing. And then hold your breath. Now what happens when you let the inhale? Okay, was it easier to drop the diaphragm when we worked really hard to squeeze the air out? Okay, that's all I want us to practice for this next little bit of time. I think we touched on it last week, but we're diving deeper. And I know somebody that has a beautiful birthday coming up tomorrow. So happy birthday to anybody who's got birthdays in this month of November and, well, throughout the years, really. So exhale, we're blowing, blowing, blowing as much as we can. We're going to strengthen. We've got power in our chest now, and we are going to squeeze with that diaphragm, and we're going to squeeze our rib cage in really strong, and then we're going to hold our breath for a second, and then we're going to let the air, we're just going to let go. And see if that diaphragm doesn't drop down all on its own. All right, let's do 3 without me talking. Exhale, get ready. Here we go. Inhale, drop the diaphragm. Hold. Exhale. Squeeze the chest. Make it tight. Stay tall. Squeeze, blow. Hold your breath. Let the air in. Keep bringing it in. Hold your breath. Again, blow. Come on. Squeeze. Good. Hold your breath. Let go. Now just breathe normally for a moment. Are you noticing at all that it's easier to relax on the inhale? Inhale should be easy. We can strengthen it by working it past its initial inflation. We keep breathing. And then we can make it stronger by exhaling so much more fully. Okay, just a few breaths. Let's do one more really good one. Exhale. Let the air come in. Fill up. Come on. Hold. Exhale, blow it out. Get taller. Keep blowing. Come on, feel the squeeze. Hold. Let go. Yes. All right. Nice. Again, you might get some dizziness as you begin to practice. This is the beginning of what a lot of people call breath work. You can find a lot of breath work out there, but without this initial understanding of how to move the air mechanically, well, this will just power up all of your breath work. Let's put it that way. Okay. Okay, I feel actually really good. Let's stand up and do our reassess, shall we? Hands on our waistline. Sorry, the camera's having a hard time following me. It's making me fuzzy. Let me step forward so it knows I'm here. And we'll tip from side to side. Wow and wow. Beautiful. Try your tipping forward and backward. Okay. My awareness level, even with the giant movement that I feel like I'm doing compared to what we started with, I am down to like a pain level of 1 or a discomfort level of 1 or lower. So if you guys want to, in the chat, let us know what was your number when you started and where did you finish? That'd be really cool. And why don't you, if you feel better, reminder, we're playing under the rules of neuroplasticity, which means we're working with the nervous system. And if we feel better doing one thing, that means that the whole nervous system is benefiting. So it should feel like we should be able to rotate easier. Maybe check that out. Wow. I still feel some residuals. I'm not perfect yet. That's okay. And then the heart opening and closing, might be able to find that a little bit easier. Awesome. Gosh, and when I know that I have in my hands, in my being, tools to help my body function and feel better, it just makes me joyful to know that I have that power and I don't always have to give that to someone else to help me. Okay? We know when to ask for help, but we also can learn that we are capable of helping ourselves. We are capable and we are worthy of helping ourselves. So thank you guys for showing up today. You are beautiful. I can't wait to see you again next week. All right, have a good one.